I'm Teresa Woodard, and here are your headlines from North Texas. A family is mourning a father of 5 who was killed by a train while he was driving to lunch. It is the third wreck at the same train crossing in less than a year. This happened in Wilmer, right next to the Ferris city limits in southern Dallas County. Cole Sullivan shows us why the family of the victim says this could have been prevented.
A single moment can upend a family. Seeing it doesn't make it easier to understand.
Just want to bring him back and say maybe, that.
The train that hit Norman Farmer's Escalade Friday threw him beyond the SUV, investigators say, killing the father of 5 along the tracks.
You don't question God, and I'm not questioning him, but it's just a fact that this should never have happened.
The crossing on 2-lane Lavender Road in southern Dallas County has no bell, no lights, no crossing arms, and his family says not enough warning on a road that's getting busier.
With that blind spot of the train coming around that curve, nobody can really see it.
Federal Railroad records show it's the third train wreck here in less than a year, with trains going as fast as 45 miles per hour.
It should have been taken care of before the first accident. The second one definitely should have caught their attention, but for this to be the third one.
We asked Union Pacific about this crossing late Friday, but didn't hear back. The railroad says its crew didn't get hurt. Norman Farmer's family wants them to make changes so no one else does.
Oh my goodness.
This is shit.
Because what flips a family in an instant takes much longer to set right. In southern Dallas County, I'm Cole Sullivan.
Animal control officers in Garland made their largest seizure in the city's history, 64 cats inside one home. The city calls the conditions inside that home deplorable. Richard Solomon checked on those animals at the shelter and learned more about the investigation now underway.
The faces that normally come to the Garland Animal Shelter leave with smiles. But right now, the faces inside are the ones that need the love the most.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I've been doing this for 22 years.
They're the kinds of cases that stick with you.
Every year, we remove well over 100 animals in abusive situations.
But this week, Garland Animal Services saw something they've never seen before. Art Munoz says it started with a tip from an outside-of-state agency. And when officers got to the home in Garland,
initially, she stated that there was only 20 cats. However, we removed 64 from the home.
64 cats pulled from what Munoz calls deplorable conditions.
A lot of them were malnourished. There's feces, urine smeared on the floor, a lot of debris, trash.
These are some of the cats that were rescued earlier this week. There were 64 total, but 16 are here currently at the shelter. I'm told the other cats have been taken to other shelters and nonprofits helping. These cats here are being medicated every day.
They're all really sweet.
He told me the owner of the home has not yet been charged, but the investigation is still ongoing.
If you see something, report it. And we can handle a lot of these cases before they get out of hand.
Scarlett and Susie?
His focus right now is getting these cats healthy and getting them ready for a second chance.
And this is a great example of why you need to come to the shelter and help these animals out.
In Garland, I'm Richard Solomon.
After decades in business, a Dallas restaurant says it is being pushed out. Hickory House says it's closing its doors as a new tenant is willing to pay triple the rent. Here's Brittany Moncrief.
At Hickory House Barbecue,
I also want brisket on that burger.
Justin needs no menu.
Grilled jalapenos and mushrooms.
He orders from memory.
Hey, I got the ribeye ready.
That when I ask them to put everything possible on my burger, they put everything possible on the burger.
And every time he's here, Hickory House doesn't miss.
Pretty good. Burger.
For the past 20 years, Nick Saropoulos and his brother have run the restaurant, taking over from his previous owners.
When I first came here, I really did not know a lot of his customers. Well, since they come here all the time, they become a lot close friends and very good customers.
A closeness forced to part ways because on May 30th, Nick will close these doors for good. He said the landlord has new tenants willing to pay 3 times as much for the spot.
My rent's going up way up there. and there's no way I can afford it.
For longtime workers
It won't take them that long.
and loyal customers, it's hard news to swallow.
Good people here. And it kind of feels like a family.
It's emotional, and when time comes, we're going to say goodbye.
But like Nick,
And I'm really looking to find a new place around here somewhere.
customers aren't ready to let go.
I'm holding on to hope that they're gonna find another place. You know, I believe in the community that supports them.
Because Hickory House has shown
This sort of history right here.
the richer the flavor,
All right, Patty, you ready?
the harder the last bite.
You gonna ribeye with baked potato?
In Dallas, I'm Brittany Moncrief.
All right, Patty.
Along with rent going up, the cost of beef is too, and that is putting an added strain on a lot of Texas barbecue joints. Since this time last year, the USDA says beef prices are up 15%. They also expect prices for all food to increase by 3.1% this year. A South Garland student is lifting her high school into the history books and shattering state records along the way. Kevin Reese introduces us to a young girl who is just getting started raising the bar.
She's been tough all her life.
In the weight room at South Garland High School, there's a story Asia-Lynn Bostic and her mom like to tell.
I had told him to leave me alone.
That day in middle school, when a boy kept bugging her,
So I just kind of shoved him. He kind of went over the table.
and the football coaches were watching.
And she put the boy over the desk. And they were like, "You're playing football. We want you on the football team next year." And she was like, "Me?"
8th and 9th grade on the football team competing against boys. But she found her true calling in the weight room. And it's been quite the award-winning haul. Asia-Lynn Bostic has won state titles all 4 years of high school, including this week a bench press state record.
325.
Another state record in the squat.
550.
Same in deadlift.
530.
For a total of 1,405 pounds. That was a state girls powerlifting championship record too.
I was a ball of emotion. I didn't know what to do. I was crying, I was laughing, I was cheering. I don't know how to count the weight, so whatever they put on the bar, I just go with the flow.
And going with the flow has made Asia-Lynn a 4-time state champ and a South Garland High School Titan legend. And now people are talking to her about maybe making a run at the Olympics. She hasn't made her mind up just yet.
I think I just want to be a normal person, go to college, not have everyone in the world know who I am, so.
Until that decision is made, you'll probably find Asia-Lynn here, working on a next personal best.
I'm just like everyone else. I'm just strong.
And just being who she is.
A little crazy, but that's it.
With a crazy, strong, promising future. In her sights, too. In Garland. I'm Kevin Reese.
You go, girl. Those are your headlines from North Texas.